Welcome, welcome! It's Mud Dog with the Texas Space Navy, bringing you another Star Citizen video. And no, today's video is not about the Mercury Star Runner or the Night Runner skin that you see on this one. This is going to be more about mining with the ROC DS. I have not showcased the ROC DS yet on this channel. I've only gotten to use it a few times, and I've encountered a few bugs. A lot of people have had no problems with this vehicle. The first thing you have to do is, of course, go to some sort of facility or, landing site on one of the planets that you can put the ROC DS in the back of a ship that can hold it, which means probably a Mercury Star Runner, a Valkyrie, something along those lines, a Starfarer, one of those types of ships that can carry the carry the ROC DS with no problems. Anything that can hold an Ursa rover can hold a ROC DS, even including your Connies. So, get one of those ships loaded up and then take off for another planet. I just happen to be on Aberdeen doing my mining. So, once you're in that ship, you're going to have to fly around a little bit, put it in scanning mode, which for most people is the tab button. Once you hit tab, it should put it into scanning mode. I have my keybind set up for certain types of scanning, which I'll show you here in a minute. But you can scan with the left mouse button and activate the scanner with the right mouse button. What's that mean? Well, you could do a ping with one of them. The longer you hold it, the more power you're putting into that ping. You see these boxes that show up? These are different minables. And when you're mining with the ROC, or the ROC DS, you're looking for these little diamond shape objects. You don't want the ones that look like a rock because those are too big for your ground vehicles to mine. You'll have to have a prospector or a mole to do that. Which, by the way, Aberdeen's a great place to do that with your prospector and mole. And I'll probably do another video on that coming up in the near future. So you have to find one of these diamond shaped ones. Now you're going to have to land, and you're going to have to get your ROC DS out of your cargo hold and go mine. Now, I did try to mine from within the Mercury Star Runner's cargo hold. It didn't work so well. So I don't suggest doing that. I suggest getting in your vehicle and rolling it off the back end of your ship. And if there's not a good spot to set down, you may have to set down a little ways away from the minables that you're going for. So once you get in your ROC DS, as you can see, the driving entrance is right in the front. You're going to have to press R to power it on and drive out to these minables. The thing is not very maneuverable, especially compared to the other ROC or some of the other ground vehicles. So keep that in mind. It kind of maneuvers very poorly. Pretty much the only thing that's worse is a ballista. And now I don't know how the Tumbrel Nova tank is going to maneuver. We should find that out here within a month. But this definitely is one of the worst, if not the worst, maneuvering vehicles out there. So once you get to where you want to be, if you're doing this solo, you'll have to go and get in the mining laser that is the extra pod on the side of the ROC DS. If you have a friend with you, they can do this part. Now you'll have to power on the laser as well. It's probably easier just to press R to do that. I was looking for the exact power button. It is up top. Here it shows exit, but you just move it around a little bit, you'll find the power on switch eventually. So once you have it powered on, then you're going to have to point your laser towards one of the rocks, and you're going to have to kind of see the composition of it, how much you need to hit to stay in the green to break this rock up into something you can extract and take with you. So the scanning is done. You see this little green section on the right here of my UI? I don't want to go in the red with the power levels. I only want to go into the green, and I want to maintain that level. So right now the laser's on a minimum. I'm going to maximize it up to full power. You can do this by rolling the mouse wheel if you're mining with a mouse. First you press the left trigger to bring up the mining laser to turn it on. Then you're going to use the mouse wheel to regulate power. Again, you don't want to go over that green limit, because if you put too much energy into it and this thing gets to maximum energy to break, the thing will explode and send shards everywhere. It could do damage to you or your vehicle. So try to maintain it in the green. I will tend to do this by bouncing back the power back and forth to try to stay in the green. You just have to play with it a little bit before you kind of get the hang of it. But it's not too rough. So once you have this thing broken up, you'll be able to actually use the extractor laser. I'm going to break up all three of these rocks first, and then I'll get to extracting. So you see the thing blew up, but I was still in the green, so the shards stayed pretty local for me. I'm going to show you some of the keybinds that I use. So you press escape, go to keybinds. I'm using a joystick, so I clicked on the right arrow key to go to my joystick keybinds, and now I want to set up the appropriate keys for mining power so that I can use it with my joystick. So I'm going to delete this increase and decrease power, which is done by a button normally, like a digital button, and I'm going to set it up to be on the analog slider for my joystick. Makes it just a little easier for me to control power. I can use the slider on my left joystick, use the right joystick to control whether or not I'm shooting the rock and where I'm aiming. So that's the way I do it. You guys may not have the joystick to do that way. You could still do it with a mouse, but I would suggest you go in and adjust the settings just the way you like it, because otherwise mining can be a little bit of a chore. If you can set up a better control scheme that works for you, I highly recommend you do that. I recommend you do that on flying, FPS, mining in space, all of it. But it's really important on things that are going to take a while to do, like mining. You're never going to do a mining trip that just takes, 10 minutes, generally. I mean, I know people will do it, but most of the time you're going to want to mine for 15, 30 minutes to an hour. And, filling up the ROC DS can take quite a while because, it's got quite a bit of cargo space. And you probably are going to want to fill that up before you take it back to sell all the mineable ore, because that's where you're going to make some serious money by filling this bad boy up. And if you're being very, very specific on what you're looking for, like I'm only looking for rocks with Haydenite. That's the only thing I will mine with a ROC or a ROC DS is Haydenite rocks, and I really prefer a high yield rock. So 50% I'm probably not going to pick up because it may not just be worth it for me. Whereas like 90% or higher, you bet I will. Maybe even in the 80s. But I'm definitely looking for something with a high yield so that, I can bring home the bacon at the end of the day. So you can see the extracting laser is going on right now. If you are using a mouse, you can right click and it should change to the extraction laser, which means you're going to pull in all that debris that you created, all the mineable rock, the cut gemstones, so to speak. Obviously with my joystick, I have it set for my secondary firing button. So again, set up the controls to something that you're going to use, something that it's going to work for you. Now, this is one of the great things about this DS compared to a regular ROC, is that it's got a massive range of motion when picking up rocks and mining for rocks. Even better yet is if you have a buddy that's driving, they can maneuver the vehicle around to where you can finish extracting or mining certain rocks. That's extremely helpful. You just don't know how much until you're absolutely having to do it yourself. Then it becomes extremely valuable and extremely useful. As you can see here, beautiful effects from the mining laser on these rocks at nighttime. I did encounter a few rocks that were just not mineable for me. Like I could put a laser on max level and it just wouldn't do a thing to it. No explosions, no extra power, no extra energy into it. Maybe it's because it's a size 0 laser. This laser is more powerful than the regular ROC's laser. It will reach further and it will break rocks down a little bit quicker. But again, some of the trade-off is the size of this thing and the maneuverability. So keep that in mind. Should you get a ROC DS, they're on sale right now, War Bond, with lifetime insurance. And I can tell you that it's probably worth it if you're a miner or you're interested in mining. But it's also probably worth it if you're looking to get an LTI token for a future ship, which I will discuss possibly in a future video coming up about Fleet Week. So guys, make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. I'm Mud Dog with the Texas Space Navy, and I'll see you out in the verse.